Around the world, hundreds of disasters happen every year. These include landslides, floods, drought, hailstorms, refugees influx, internal displacement and earthquakes, which pose a growing threat to the economy and lives of millions. Available facts from 2005 to 2013 show that Uganda incurred a combined economic average loss of $72.8 million to disasters. On average, 200,000 Ugandans are affected by various types of disasters each year, and this number is expected to increase. When a disaster hits, the more excluded and vulnerable suffer most. Most disasters are triggered by events beyond the control of the affected communities. The Humanitarian Learning Academy Kenya and Development Research and Training believes that proper planning and adoption of a disaster risk-sensitive approach for development can build more resilience to impacts of hazards. To achieve this, you need to have a clear understanding of the political, economic, and social-cultural context in which local authorities operate. A study commissioned by the Humanitarian Learning Academy, HLA, Kenya, in the 3 districts of Bududa, Kasese, and Adjumani in Uganda, illustrates that different disasters occur in communities routinely exposed to poverty and vulnerability context. The affected people find it hard to cope with a range of threats from environmental to social-economic. This implies that poverty reduction, sustainable development, and disaster risk management ought to be addressed in an integrated manner. This need is re-emphasized by the Sendai Framework, which is the first agreed global agreement of the post-2015 development agenda endorsed by the UN Secretary-General. The Sendai Framework also emphasizes that the state has a primary role to reduce risks and vulnerabilities. But that responsibility should be shared by other stakeholders, including local government, private sector, and other stakeholders, since disaster risk is everyone's business. Focusing at the local level needs, it is necessary to ensure that all ongoing disaster risk reduction mainstreaming initiatives are sustained and strengthened. Development of policy, legislative, institutional, and judicial systems and mechanisms to support the process, and creation of awareness of the need for disaster risk reduction and the value of having this mainstreamed into the development follows. In order to attain those, HLA developed an integrated model emphasizing the following key considerations: beneficiaries and their representatives, strategic partnerships, other stakeholders, operating environment, that is, the legal and policy framework, political support from the highest level of local authority leadership and management, incorporating gender concerns in disaster risk reduction. In a nutshell, planning process for disaster risk reduction policies and development plans should be integrated and not treated separately, since they have the same goal of reducing vulnerability and enhancing development.